This here is my old turbo from my 1HD-T 80 series. 70, maybe almost 100,000 Ks this has. When you look a bit closer, you can tell that this one's absolutely had it. It hasn't sent the turbine through the intake yet, but that's why I'm getting to it now, just to make sure the bad things don't happen in the future. So I'll give you a bit of a rundown to how we got here. I went on a trip a few months ago down to a forward drive park. Noticed some things that really needed changing, leaking from the injector pump. Also really noticed the downfalls of a fully loaded 80 series, you know, really getting up there in weight. With the original turbo, original fuel, it's really difficult to get that thing moving. So another thing, the amount of oil that was being burnt in the car was insane. I pulled the intake out, pulled the intercooler out, and it was just like pouring oil out of the intake. It was just everywhere. It was insane. So yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the seals in here. Better to just replace it, and I'll go with an upgrade whilst I'm at it. So I looked around. You can go with like UFI or G Turbo for an insane amount of money. Not necessary for my job. And then you go down to the sort of mid-range, and then you've got just the cheapest of the cheap. So I ended up going with a sort of a middle of the range. It's a bit of an upgrade. It probably isn't going to be doing so much. Now this is an Arashi turbocharger. It's a TD05, like a CT26 replacement. So all of the lines and the bolts and everything, the position is the exact same as the factory one, but obviously it has bigger intake. I think this one's a 3-inch. Got more blades, got the billet compressor wheel. You can change out your wastegate springs. Arashi, I've seen Mr. Landcruiser use these. That's the reason I went with them. And Mr. Landcruiser is obviously very reputable with their 2H turbo conversions. So that's why I went with this. It was about $1,000, so a bit cheaper than the Monroe, a bit more expensive than the stock CT26. And it'll be good to test it out, obviously, if it breaks and fails. I'll know never to get one again. And to go along with it, got some new exhaust manifold studs, which is great. And it comes with full gaskets and everything like that. So now I've just got to make sure I've got all these pipes up in the right way. So I'll get those fitted up, see how to get it, and I'll chuck it on this manifold, and then I guess chuck it back in the car. So I've gone and snapped a stud here. I should have just got some penetrating fluid and let it sit for a little bit, or I just went really hard with the breaker bar and snapped it. All the other ones were fine and came out. So I'm gonna have to drill this out. I'll probably just weld the stud in there and just leave it till the next time I do a turbo. I'll probably upgrade the manifold. So that's gonna take a little while, but then I'll weld the stud in, get the new studs, and put the turbo on. Got some new studs here, just went out there. M10 by 1.5, so I'm gonna just put these in and then I'll weld this one in. Right, I've got it bolted up now. It's all in there. Gonna do this little wastegate bit here. So this is our, I guess you could say, finished turbo. I've got the gasket in there, tightened up the studs. So I guess I'll put it on the car and try and get them fit. Okay, so we have quite a few different issues that I've come across. First, I tried to put the turbo obviously on the manifold into the car, and it doesn't go in, it doesn't fit. The wastegate over here, the wastegate actuator, hits up against, there's this coolant pipe in there, which is not good at all. So I spent all of last night and this morning, I researched on the forums. I messaged this guy off the forums who I'd seen it had the same issue, and he really helped me out a lot with a lot of the stuff that he did to get this thing to fit. So now I'm gonna go and try to get mine to fit by doing some of the same things. What I'm going to do now is cut that coolant pipe that's in the car, just use heater pipe. I'm gonna go buy a bunch from wherever and just route it down, up and around so it's out of the way. That's pretty easy. And I've also got to swivel this actuator around so that it doesn't hit the block, because even after you take the coolant pipe off, the guy on the forum says that it still hits the block, so you have to rotate it around. Hopefully I can still just use this. So this is our coolant pipe down here. I'm gonna chop it up at the start here. So I've completely given up trying to do this properly. So I'm just giving up and I'm gonna cut this thing up and bend it. So this is where I want the actuator to be, right down in here. And so I'm gonna bend this, because obviously you can't, that needs to screw into there. So the angle needs to be like that. So I'm gonna cut this and bend it up. This needs to bolt into here and here in 2 spots. So I'm gonna drill this one out a bit and then see how that goes. Got a little test here because I noticed that this gap here between the actuator and the housing was pretty close, so I've just got an air gun into the line, into the actuator, and just press it and it just clears it. It stops there. That's actually a really good spot for that actuator now. That'll be way far away from the block. It's nice down and tucked away. I just got to chop it along here to get rid of all this stuff, and then we'll be good. I'll go and try and put it on the car. Well, that's it. So that took a lot of different iterations, and I think it's still going to need more modifications because the wastegate actuator now is pretty far away from the block. You probably got about 20 or 30 mil, but it's really close to the actual exhaust manifold. So it might get too hot. I don't know, it's made out of metal and stuff. So for now, I think I'm just gonna bolt it all up. I can get to that water pipe, the one that I cut, I can get to that water pipe to put heater hose on. So I won't need to take the turbo off to do any of that. And yeah, I'll just bolt it all up now. So that's actually the end for the first part because there are lots of things that end up happening with the turbo and the install. So I'm going to split it up between multiple parts or else it'll be a bit too long. This is the end of part 1 and I will see you in the next one.